I think I won't surprise anyone by saying this, I don't really like Japanese comedies. If you watched me for any number of episodes, this much should become evident, so please don't think lightly for what I'm going to say next, but Maria Holic is not only the best anime I've ever watched, but also literally the best anime work I've seen in decades. Who would have thought that a typical romance comedy anime with plot so boring and predictable I watched 3 episodes of it and concluded that scraping your genitals with sandpaper is a more enjoyable experience than watching it would be worth every second of my time. Maria Holic is a revolutionary 12-episode anime made by Studio Shaft that combines romantic anime, slice of life, action, drama, werewolves, and space opera into one coherent package. The show starts with Kanako Miyamaya, a Japanese spy who suffered a traumatic rape experience that forced her to be afraid of all men, given her last mission to infiltrate the closed Catholic school that rumored to create mystical beings for their own sake. But during her mission she encounters Maria Shido and falls in love with her, only to find out that she's actually a he and a werewolf revolutionary leader seeking to overthrow Catholic Church and establish an anarchist utopia, and so these two must combine their powers to unravel the complex socio-political web surrounding werewolves and the Japanese society. And honestly speaking, I wasn't really expecting how deep the anime story went. Just by watching the first 3 episodes, you'd think that this is just an average shitty comedy they shit out every season or so, but once I realized that this turned into an intense shootout between alien lizard people and the Catholic Secret Service in episode 10, I couldn't really tell you where any significant changes occurred in the intervening time. Another thing I'm impressed by is Maria Shido as a character, because while I initially thought that just making him a cross-dresser is probably the cheapest way of making a comedic character outside of maybe jokes about your mom, I was genuinely surprised that the anime legitimately cared about his backstory enough to dedicate 2 full episodes to it, as well as explaining the importance of lizardmen from planet Venus in the story. And while I don't want to spoil too much, I was extremely moved by the scene where he accepts his lizardman heritage only to use it to tease Kanako some more. It's honestly difficult to me to even pinpoint my most favorite thing about the anime, as it's just the most perfect thing I've ever come across. From the seamless use of 3D to the rich and vibrant animation to the music that manages to combine Norwegian and Ukrainian folk with Japanese death metal. Oh, and who can forget the 4th wall-breaking scene where Kanako storms into Minari Endo's apartment and kicks her into her vagina. The only criticism I have for Maria Holic is that it's really lacking in the location department. We only see the school, the lizardman laboratory, and a small bit of space in the last episode, which isn't really all that much considering the epic scale of the show, but I do kinda understand why they did so. After all, it must have been very expensive to make an anime so complex. I also understand why people like this anime so much, alongside many others, most definitely worthwhile products, because if this wasn't a good anime and people were just a bunch of bonobo monkeys who mindlessly consume anything so long as it has a cute girl in it, that would be really fucking sad. If that was the case, then I would have to say that it's really sad that a show about a cross-dressing boy and a lesbian girl is what it takes to make people happy. Not the jokes, mind you, not the story, but the sheer fact that a boy looks like a girl. Maybe humanity as a species deserves coronavirus, because clearly modern leisurely lifestyle most people have is affecting their brains in a negative way, if they find this to be funny. But anyway, the point was, I'm just glad that I don't live in a world where such scenarios exist. Now, if you excuse me, I'll have to end this ramble prematurely. I have a game of Overwatch to play with Nicolas Cage.